everyone, welcome to another video. This is not a complete build. This is something a little bit out of the norm. This is almost a tutorial, kind of. So I've got some projects coming up, very Orky, and I want to make that a little bit easier for myself. So I've decided I've made some, well, I'm going to make some Orky sort of plates for covering over structures and models, and I'm going to cast them. I'm going to make a silicone mold and then cast those plates in resin. And you guys can come along and see how I get on with that. Hopefully take some information from it and have a go yourself. So let's head off and let's do that. But first, before we go into the good stuff, you got to pay Charon. You got to pay the ferryman. And it's free. All you've got to do is click that like button, that subscribe button. That's it. That's the most basic thing you can do to help the channel. And it really does help the channel. At the time of recording this, I'm on 507 subscribers now, which is awesome. I've hit that 500 mark, which is a bit of a, you know, it's a bit of a milestone for me. But and I've got something kind of planned for 1,000, bit of a 1,000 subscriber giveaway, loosely based on this video, kind of, so, well, yeah. More on that later. Anyway, yeah, like, share, subscribe, Facebook, Instagram, all that malarkey, and of course, Patreon. You know where I am. You know, a couple of quid a month goes a long way. Helps with lighting. The bulbs in these things aren't cheap. Resin isn't cheap. Silicone isn't cheap. I'm not begging though. I'm more than happy to pay for it, but you know, it helps. You know, perhaps I could do more exciting projects. Anyway, guys, enough of that. Enough of the shill. Let's get on to the good stuff. Right. We have an array of stuff in front of us. So, I've got a couple of projects coming up that are very much Warhammer 40,000 Orc based. So I thought what I might do is I'm going to make some Orky style panels with rivets and various other bits and bobs, and then we'll cast them. We'll make a mold out of silicone, and then we'll cast them in some resin. And then the idea is then I can use them on as I say, a couple of projects I've got coming up. I think that might expedite, especially the one. Well, it'll certainly expedite the next project, and then the following project that I've got on that will really help. We'll get that. So we have some 3mm Foamex. We have some nice half dome beads for rivets. We've got some plastic rod. We've got some corrugated card. We've got some nice fresh blades for our knife. We have a pen. We have a set square, metal set square. Lovely jubbly. And we have some textured plastic card that we can use as well. I've also just run off some 3D printed hex head bolts and Phillips head screws, heads, things, whatever you call them, and we'll use them. So let's go down to the table, get closer, and let's get started on this. This is going to be fun, guys. Real fun. All right, first things first. Gonna swap out my blade. Get a nice, sharp, fresh one in there because that's got quite blunt. I keep my blades though because blunt blades are good for scraping mould lines off of minis later down the line. So keep hold of your blunt ones. Don't throw them away. And get yourself a knife sharpener and you can sharpen them back up again. But for this project, just gonna quality. See, there you go. Just gonna place the blade like so, fresh and very sharp, and then keep the blunt one over there. So got a nice little box of 3D printed bolts and hex heads and stuff. So that's cool to use. But the first thing we need to do is we need some panels. So I'm going to get myself the 3mm Foamex here. I'm going to mark off some. I'm going to go inches as you know as my multiple. No real reason, just that you know obviously the game is measured in inches, so it seems like a fair idea to do it. I'm going to mark off 1 inch and 2 inch sections. So 2 2 and 2, so that gives me 3 2-inch sections, and then the second one, when I've chopped it, will give me, actually that gives me 4 sections. So just use my square, put that on the side, line it up with me mark, like so. I mean, you know, I'm using a square, but it's only because it's a, you know, it's only because it's a small steel rule for me. You know, you don't really have to use a square. These are Orky plates, you know, so it doesn't really matter if they're slightly wonky. That will just add to the whole aesthetic of it, I guess, really. I'll just join that up there. So there's a line, lovely jubbly, and then these marks here, just mark off. So put your square up. So you can't really see, it's very bad camera positioning. Let me move, there you go. That might be better for you. There you go. Make sure it's on. And whoop. Whack a line on. Same again. I have to hold it up because the square is actually thicker than the material. So you get like a slightly curve, well, not curve, but it raises it off so you don't get such a straight line. But there you go. There you go, they're all done. Sharp knife, bigger steel ruler, line it up like so. Now Foamex is quite a dense material, so it's best to just go light cuts and several of them. And that way it won't dull your blade as much. And you should get a nice clean cut, like so. So that's them. And then using them steel rule again. Line it up. And this is the joy of having a fresh blade. I'm not hardly putting any pressure in this. And that's what you want, really. You don't want to be, when you're cutting, especially with something like a scalpel blade, you do not want to be putting pressure on, because once you put pressure on, that's when you can slip, and that's when you can slice your little fingies, and we don't want sliced fingies, do we now? In fact, you don't even need your steel rule for this one. If you just do it carefully, you can just follow that line like so, and then follow it again, use it as a guide. So that gives us some 1-inch by 2-inch panels there, so they'll be good as a nice base. In fact, one of them's ever so slightly longer, so let's measure that up. Push that on there, nice and gentle. 1, nice and gentle. 2, and then 3, 4. There we go. Bosh. Keep hold of that bit. You never know if you're going to use it. Cool. Right, that's them done. I'm going to cut up some inch ones now, and then we'll crack on detailing them up and sticking bits and gubbins all over them. Right, with everything chopped up, ready to go, we just need to. There we go. Yes, a couple of them I've got still got some of the protective film on the back, so we just need to flick that off. Come on, come on. Sorry, I've cut my nail, so I'm not good at grabbing it. But it doesn't matter if I dig into it, because it'll all add to that orkish flavour that all their stuff seems to have. Come on, see, I need a knife. Come on, there you go. There, trimmed off, lovely, beautiful. Right, I'm just going to move this camera around a bit like that. There you go. That should be better. Okay, right, so I've been chopping up some plastic rod, like so, just to give me some rivets. So, as seen before, you just run along, cutting up some slices. Doesn't matter if they're all different sizes, because again, that'll just add to the flavour. So, chuck those out of the way. So we'll use some of them later. And now what we need to do is start carving up the panels to make it look like they've been hewn out of bits of metal. And what we can do, if you have got a bit of a fingernail left, like I have here, you can actually
gouge into this stuff as well and really put some like marks and scrapes and jags into it, which is really good. And you can carry on nicks and scrapes that you've added into it. I'm not sure if you can see that. That's the lights. But, well, when I get one painting up, you'll see. So that one's done. That needs like rivets and stuff, but I'm going to start making some up with these now. And again, we're using a nice sharp craft knife. And all we're doing is we're just going along and we're just slicing out bits. Just, you know, as if it's like been cut really badly with a plasma torch or a, you know, a manky saw, or even hacked out with a sharp axe or something like that. It's always good to lob off the corners a bit. Just like so. Round them off a little bit as well. Like so. Give them a bit of a choppy chop. And like I say, any dings and scrapes all add to the aesthetic anyway. And this is what we want. I want to, because although this is, I actually do enjoy making up panels like this, especially for Orky vehicles. With the projects I've got coming up, this is going to save me so much time having some panels in a roughly set measurements, that kind of thing. And yeah, so I can work out and do builds, and you know, it'd be easy to do builds with, and not having to detail them up, because like I say, the detailing this stuff, doing this stuff can take some time, because you know you want to get it looking good. So we just go around slicing a few bits in and out of it. Again, I'm glad I changed my blade for this, because it'll be perfect. And then when we got that cut there, I can just drag my fingernail down it like that. And gouge it in there. So you want to make it look like so the cut's gone all the way through the sides as well. Because again, that will save you some time. If you're using this piece on an edge, you know, you won't have to detail these edges up. I mean, you're going to have to at some point, because we're going to be casting these in resin. But the more work you can do, you know, the more work and detail you can add now, the better it is, really. And just go around like so, and giving it a bit of texture, like so. So I'm going to crack on and do some more panels, and then what we'll do, we'll get some rivets on there, and we'll get some different textures on there as well. So awesome. There we go. And that's focusing, but that's them all with their edges all carved in and details put in. I haven't gone too heavy on some of them, because obviously I'm going to be adding some texture to them now. That'll have to be cut back in at a later date. This one will look quite cool. I've made it so it looks like it's split in half. And then what I'm going to do, I'm going to put some bits of plastic card across there to make it look like it's been bolted back together. So that should be quite a cool one as well, a nice bit of detail. So, right, so I've got a little bit of bread. I'm actually baking some loaves of bread at the moment while I'm doing this. So I had a little bit of bread stuck in my teeth. Sorry about that. Right, let's glue or sticks down some textures. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to put some of this corrugated iron on, or corrugated card to look like corrugated iron. So I'm just going to cut it, put it on there roughly. So I've got a rough piece, and obviously I don't want to do it straight, because you know it's an Ork plate, not Imperium, so we'll give it a bit of a jaunty angle, like such, and then we'll glue it on, and then we'll trim up the edges. So we've got the trusty, crappy pound shop glue, hurrah, hurrah, and we'll put the glue around the edges. Yep, there we go. Be quite generous with it, because it's paper, so it will suck up the glue, and then slab it on, plonk it right on like that, let that set, and then we'll go around and we'll trim up the edges and carve them in and make them look all dodgy. And I think we'll do the same with a little bit of tread plate. It's always good for Orky models. So let's cut off a little slicette of that, and let's cut off like a little section like that. Give this a bit of a trim up, because this is going to be going on top of the the Fomex plate, so we want to make this look like it's been rough hewn as well. Cutting a few bits there, some dodgy edges, like so. Again, bit of glue, like so, and then we'll have a jaunty angle, bosh. Plonk it on, a bit of overspill on the glue, just give it a wipe off, and then we'll clean up the edges there. I think we'll keep. Let's do. So we do another bit. Let's do another bit, and let's go that way this time. Should we go that way? Yeah, we'll have a little slice set there. Now you can't really carve the corrugated stuff, but that's all right because I've got a little plan for that. So again, that's going to go on a bit of a jaunty old angle because I'll show you what I'm going to do with that. To show, because this is card, we can't really rough up the edges too much. So we're going to stick that on like so, and then I've got a couple of these, some Fomex strips, and we'll glue them on, and that'll break up that panel. Like so, we'll go whoop along there, and this will also provide a great piece to add some more rivets to. Like so, and we'll give that a trim up. Might put another bit in there. Yeah, that'll look cool. And again, that just provides us a nice little bit of detail. And then it can be, you know, boom, that way, that way, that way, and that way. And that gives us 4 panels, effectively, we can use. And the same with all of these. What else can we do? So that's going to be, look, that's got that on there, be plain. I think that's pretty good. And then, you know, yeah, I think that'll be fine for adding on textures and stuff. So let's get these all trimmed up now. Get these all trimmed up with the old knife. So the way we do that, just flip them over, run the knife along, like so. Take off the excess, and then we'll go look at the edges, and we'll just trim it back so it blends in a bit with what we've already removed, the material we've already moved off the base material. Come in like that, give that a cut out like so, and we'll whiz along like that. There you go. Nice. Very good. Excellente. And we'll do that. We'll do that with this one here. Now slice it. Make sure. Apologies if I've just knocked the camera. Like so, and then we'll just cut in just to blend it a bit. Like so. Nice. Awesome. And then, yeah, these bits here, let's give them a slice off there and a slice there. Nice. That can be sliced off there as well. That can come off. And then we need to just rest that down there. Need to cut that off there. Cut that off there. And it might be worth just nipping down the edges of these a bit as well. Give them a bit of interest. Like so. Oh, I'll tell you what, one thing, I don't know if I've gone on about Fomex too much, or even if I really explained it. So this is Fomex. It's called something else. I think it's expanded polystyrene. It's essentially like a plastic version of MDF. It's phenomenal. It's light. You can carve it. You can drill it. Super glue sticks it like the proverbial stuff to a blanket. This is an amazing product. So I'll put a link to where I got it from. And yeah, you can take a look at it and make your own decisions. But this stuff's really nice. I much prefer it over normal styrene. Anyway, so that's them all detailed. I think the next thing to do now is, I need to cut up some, yes, sorry, just forgot. I need some plastic card strips. Have I got any offcuts I can use? Yes. There we go. So I need to make some plastic card strips just to go across this one here, so I can rivet them down and make it look like two pieces that have been riveted back together. So I'll just slice off a little bit there. Let's get me a size what we want. That's probably about right. Yep, and then we can just go 1, 2, should we do 3? 3 cuts, and that gives us 4 we can play with. We'll glue them on, and then we'll across. Oh, let's show you what I mean. We'll just blop a bit of glue on there and a little bit on there, either side. Pick up one of these, stick it on like so. Hopefully you can see that, and then we'll go. So it looks like it's been stitched together with some additional plates. Again, Orky, let's do one at a slightly jaunty angle, like so. And then we'll put rivets on those, and that'll look cool. Right, so, riveted next. Okie dokie. It's a riveting time. Or it's time to rivet, or time to have a riveting time. So, I've got plastic rod, I've got 3D printed parts, I've got little half rhinestones, etc. And I've got glue of Superb, which we'll put a little bit on this here to make a little palette, like so. And then we use the old Sharpie craft knife, and we pick up a rivet or a stud or a gemstone, and we plonk it on, like so. And then while there's another little bit of glue in the corner, we plonk it on, like so. And then we'll pick up a little hex bolt and get a little bit of glue, and we'll plonk it on in the corner. And what I've done on that one is I've drilled out a hole there, so it looks like a rivet that's popped off. It's quite cool. And then perhaps another bit of rod on that one. Put that one there. I don't know if you can see what I'm doing. Is if I'm picking up too much glue, I dab it off on somewhere else where I'm going to put another rivet first, so I'm not wasting it. So I can just pick up a bit there, plop that on. It's a riveting good panel. There we go. So let's do a few more. Let's have one of the funky hex bolts. I'll have a little bit of the old gluage on that. These are quite big, so we can just whack that in the corner there. But-ow! Like that. Bosh! You know, we'll pick up a... and we'll stick that in the corner. Schladonge. Like so. And then we'll have another bit of plastic rod. We'll put that in that one. And we'll put that, actually, we'll put that in that one. Doo-doosh! It looks like I've riveted on the stick, you bugger. There. So it looks like I've, riveted on the bit of corrugated iron. And we'll put a hex bolt on it as well. Why not? It's bosh. Let's push it in. Get it stuck. Oh no, a little bit's chipped off. Doesn't matter. It's Orky. Whack it on. Keep going. Oh, a plastic rod. Let's put that on there. Bosh. Like so. Let's have another gemstone. Let's have that in the corner there. Nice. Come on. Stick. Yeah. Bosh. Happy days. Let's have another bit of rod. Hang on. In that corner. Indeed. Let's have another hex bolt. Why not? Plonk. Let's drill out one here. Let's dab the knife in. Give it a little twisty McTwist. Let's make a little hole. Yeah. Let's smooth it off a bit with a nib of a pen. Why not? Looking good. Another panel. Job done. And I'm just going to continue doing this with the rest of them. Oh, let's do this one. With the strapping. Let's do that. That looks going to look well, kid. So I think we'll just use, well, we could use a hex bolt on one of them. So we'll use a bit of a gem on there. On there, in fact. There we go. One there. And then we'll put a bit of rod t'other side. Yeah, that looks good. More rod. Rodders. There we are. Have another bit of rod ski. Washington. Another bit of rod ski. And should we have a hex bolt on one of them? Yeah, it's thick enough. Let's put a hex bolt on one of them. Oh yeah. Oh yeah, that looks good. That looks good in the damn hood. Let's have a one there. Let's have another one up there. Let's find another Phillips head one. Because they look quite cool and they fill up quite a large section of what you're doing it to. Another one there. So another hex bolt, why not? It's quite a big panel. Let's do that one on there. Yeah. That looks good. Happy, 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 happy. I think with these, we can make, you know, these are going to be quite good for detailing all sorts of projects. So I'll get these finished up and then we'll go on to making some silicone molds. So it's mold making time. Time to make the mold. We are using good old cheapy Lego from the Wilco Pick and Mix section. Those of you who've seen the Dora railway cannon that I built will know that I got that stuff pretty cheap. So, well, so what I need to do is I need to make a sort of base to stick the actual platforms to. So, because I obviously can't use this because it's quite knobbly. So, I've made up a little template out of some other cheapy Lego, which gives me one wall thickness all the way around to actually build up the walls to my mould. They don't have to be that thick and they don't have to be that high because it's quite a shallow mould. So I've got that template on. With that template, I'm going to use a bit of the old cereal box card. And, well, plonk the template on like so. Offer it up to a nice straight edge like that. Lovely. And then with the knife, just carefully actually run it down. Actually, let's turn that around because let's use this edge because this edge is a slightly wobbly edge. So we'll turn that around and let's do it that way. Offer it up. Tra-la-la-la-la. Up a bit. There we go. Beautiful. 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 Is that on? Yeah. Right. Let's try that again. Yeah, that's better. There you go. And we'll just go along there. Along there. There. Beautiful. And that gives us a nice platform to glue to nice and smooth, and we can glue the plates we're going to cast on there. Clean that off a little bit. Beautiful. Right, so next thing to do is glue the plates on. Don't have to be like 100% glued on, just tacked on. And if you can see, I'm not giving them much of a gap in between the mould, and there is a reason for that. It's so I'm able to probably cast it in one piece as well, should I ever need to. So that's kind of the plan with that. So let's get them glued on, and then let's get this mould built up. And then we can start with the pouring of the silicone. So just a couple of dots on there just to stabilise it. And let's see where we can go. You want to make efficient use of the space, so one on there. We go there and there. Yeah, that's quite efficient, isn't it? Let's do that. So probably just need a dot in each corner, really. Plop. Yep, nice. I'll blop on each corner. Plop. And we'll do the last of the big ones. Nice. I should better get 1, 2, 3, 4. Two. And there. Like so, and then a couple more. Last 2, 1, 2. Sorry, I went quiet there, and that can't have been fun for you. Do apologise about that. Probably hear the sound of the traffic whizzing past my window. Right, last one, done. So that goes on like that. Lid on the old gluage. And then what we can do, we just slap that on there. We don't need the template anymore, so we can use some of the bricks that we've used for that. Get them off. And then we'll just go around now and we'll just build up the walls. Like I say, we don't have to go high. Maybe 2, possibly 3 bricks high. And then we'll just whiz around the perimeter like so. And then we'll go up like so. And we'll go all the way around. Yeah, I think 2 is going to be fine. So let's get these done. And then let's get pouring some silicone. Alrighty, that's the walls all made. I only needed 2 courses, but I put a third one on just to tie them down a bit. So we are on to making mixing the silicone and pouring the silicone now. And then once that's set, we can do our first pour of resin, and we'll have some cool Orky plates. Fingers crossed. So this is the stuff I'm using: custom cast RTV liquid silicone resin color, Part A. This has got, I bought this from Amazon. I think it was about 25 quid. And it's Part A, Part B. And I think it's by volume, it's like 10% of this to whatever you put in this in. I'm not going to measure it. I never have done when mixing silicone. I usually just go by eye. I know what kind of colour I want the mould, you know, the actual silicone when it's poured. Got quite a sturdy pot to pour it in. Again, I'm just going by eye on what I think I'm going to need. I mean, it's approximately 2 of these. 1, 2 by shape. So by volume, if I do half the pot, it should, in theory, fill it. So let's pour that in there. And we'll just scrape off the stuff from around the edge, otherwise it gets everywhere. Like so. Should really have got me some, I've got some wipes somewhere. I should really have got those ready so I can clean myself up. So let's put the lid back on that. Like so, and then give this a good old shake. And I've probably got resin casters around the world crying their eyes out as I do this, but we'll bosh a bit in there like so. And we'll give it a mix and we'll see how we get on. Using a dodgy old bit of Lego again as my stirring stick, because it's quite a sturdy piece and quite long. And we'll give this a good old mix. because the good thing with this is obviously it being the part A being white and the part B can't be kind of being this kind of pinkish red. You can kind of see when it's all mixed. You know, I'm being quite vigorous. I'm probably putting a load of air bubbles in this as well. Again, making resin casters and silicone mold makers around the world cry their eyes out. But, you know, this works for me. And when we do a pour, we're going to do a high pour. And get like quite a nice stream going, which should mitigate a lot of the air bubbles. So I'll give that another final screw around, trying to get it off the edges. Like so. Looks good to me. That looks like it's all cast and all mixed in. Let's have a closer look. Yeah, it looks alright to me. But yeah, there's loads of bubbles. So I'm going to give it a bit of a tap first. Put that out of the way. And that should bring out the bubbles. And then let's go for a high pour. Get a fine stream. Oop. Here we go. And we'll pour it straight through a bit that hasn't got any things in there we want to cast. And we do a nice slow pour. And then we can start moving it around as well. Around the edges first. And this will level off and fill up all the space that we need. So there we go. We'll keep that going. Like so. I think I'm going to have enough. If not, then I'll have to let this layer go off and then pour another layer on top, which you can do. Because the only thing that really sticks to silicone is more silicone. But I think we're going to be okay. Yeah, we're going to be good. So let's let this all drain out. And I think we are going to, yeah, we're good. It's good. It's going to cover that nicely. And we just use the stirry stick to pick up the excess that's on the sides. A bit of scrapage. In we go. Put a big old dollop in there. Mix it off. And I'll get myself a wipe and clean it all up. But give it a bit of a mix as well, just in case of. There we go. Cool. Alrighty. Now we wait. Okie dokie. I think it's demold time. How do I know? Well, the stuff that was left in the bottom of the mixing pot has set firmly. And we can pull that out like so. So the mixing pot's ready, nice and clean for the next time. But you don't want to see me clearing out mixing pots. Right, let's get this thing demolded and see how we got on. So just pull off the sides of the mould. Chuck it back in the old pot of nastiness. Ooh. See how these, and then we'll see how we get on with this. And then let's get them cast up and take a look. Come on, last one. I think some silicone may have sneaked underneath, but that's okay. It doesn't really matter. So here we go. Yeah, definitely snuck underneath. But that's all right, because you can literally just pull that off like so. And you've got some, weirdly, you've got some cool silicone that attaches to Lego now. Which is a bit weird. Anyway. Here we go, here we go, here we go. Come on. Come on. Ooh. So, it's looking very, very positive. Let's say the cardboard is sacrificial. We don't really need that. Let's get the... It's obviously snuck under in some places as well. But the first pour usually gets rid of all these little imperfections. But there we go. So that's the mould all done, which is looks quite nice. Looks quite cool. So let's move this to one side. Get that on there, and then let's do a pour, shall we? So, I've got some little scales here, and a little cup. Hopefully the scales are working. Doesn't look like they're working. Oh, come on. Why aren't you working? You've got batteries. Yes. I find that with batteries. You just pop them, you turn them out, and then you pop them back in again. It's very strange. Right, so I'm going to go for a bit of a free pour. I'm not sure how much resin I'm going to need, but, you know, I'll fill up what I've got, and then if I don't need any, you know, if I've got a little extra, if I've got extra, so be it. If I haven't got extra, I'll just do another pour. What I am going to do is just tear off a bit of card and pop it underneath, because it has dried or set with a slight ridge, and this should offset that and just flatten it out a bit more. That's a bit better. Right, so this is 2 parts. This is PDW Creative Materials, part A, part B. This is just the end of a line I'm going to use up, so put some in, put some part A in. Oh, come on. Come on. No! Oh, don't tell me it's all set. Oh no! I've got to get some more resin. Oh, hang on, no, I might be able to use some of this. Oh, it's lumpy. Oh, it's lumpy as hell. Oh, it's lumpy as hell. That's not good. Right, hang on. Well, we'll give it a go, and we'll see how we get on. So, 15 grams. So I'll put in like 15 grams of this. We'll give it a go at least. I'll take out, we won't put in a 15 grams, we'll put in, that's probably about right, because it's not, we didn't take into the pot. So we'll give it a mix. It's a little lumpy in places, but we'll see how we get on. And if it's successful, at least you'd have seen what the pour looks like and what they look like once they're set. And then I'll order some more resin ready for the rest of the projects. But here we go. Little pour. Try and do it quite high. Get a good stream. And then let's slowly fill up the moulds. Like so. Let's fill up one of the small ones. Nice. One of the big ones here. Yep, that's good. That's gone well. I mean, some of the holes and the rivets aren't going to come out. I know that because I'm just gravity pouring. There's not any vacuum pouring going on, so I'm not sucking any air out. But you know, again, it's fine. These are Orky bits and bobs, so damaged rivets. I'm not entirely bothered by that. So that was probably, it's not thick enough already. Come on, let's see if we can get enough out to do this last one. There you go. So that was all right. That wasn't a bad guess. So 25 grams, 25. So I say 20. So 20 grams gets me every one, par bar one. So I would say 25 will get me all the way. So let's let them set. See how we get on. Right. Clear the old throat. Excuse me. Right. Moment of truth time. It's set. It's not 100% solid, but I was using some manky. Although, look at that. It's come back a bit better now. I might have to do another pour, because that's actually warmed up. It's more liquid now. Oh, anyway. I think this is set enough to give us the idea that, you know, that this mould will work. So let's pop them out and let's have a look. You can tell a little bit bendy still, but let's have a go. So that seems to have come up all right. There we go. Happy days. I'm not sure if you can see that. Let's turn off the autofocus. Hang on. There you go. Can you see that? I don't know. But they've come out. That's good. That's good. As I say, still a bit bendy. And you can see where the resin isn't quite set. But this does give you an idea that this mould is viable, which I'm pretty pleased with. There you go. And some of the rivets have come out all right, actually. Some of the hex heads haven't quite come out, but, you know, in the grand scheme of things, I don't think that's going to be too much of a problem. Because I can always fill them in with a bit of putty or something, should I want to. That one's come out all right. You can see some of the surface texture on that one. Pretty wicked. Another one. That's got the tread bar on it, the tread plate. That's come out really well. So, all in all, I'm going to give this a 95% success. The actual mould works, it's just that I've got manky resin. But that's fine. That's all right. The mould works. Huzzah! I can now mass produce these for a lot of the future products I've got coming up. Whew! Thank gosh for that. Excellent. Right. That's all done. I'm going to go and order some more resin and get casting. Catch you later.